Diversifying is another word for spreading your risk. Or they say, do not put all your eggs in one basket. And because even the dollar is at risk. There is also a risk with the dollar. Today we are talking about Bitcoin, digital currencies. 10 years from today, 20 years from today, maybe the story will be totally different. There is a lot of momentum to challenge dollar as a global currency and to get it out of that patch. And I think the digital currencies are the number one. They are the ones who are asking the most questions. Why should I be a Kenyan when I'm traveling to Uganda next door? I have to carry dollars. You know, why is it that African countries, when they trade with each other, they have to trade in dollars? There is no asset that you can invest in, whether it be US dollar, which is considered to be one of the safest and lowest risk currencies in the world, or Bitcoin, or any other digital currency. All those will carry some risk. And because risk is something that can only happen in the future and nobody knows about the future, then it does make sense to diversify and spread your risk, or rather, don't put your eggs in one basket. So there are serious benefits to that, because there will be times, like for example, this year has been an amazing year for Kenyan investors or investors in Kenya, because we've had people earning in shilling 18-20%, sometimes tax-free money, totally tax-free money. So what that has done, it has now even pulled money from international investors coming here. They're investing in Kenya. Why are they investing in Kenya? In Kenya shillings? They are diversifying. But this is where the balancing act must come in. We never just look at the return, we look at the risk. Okay? We say, we maximize, all investors are trying to do the same thing. Maximize return while minimizing the risk. Invest in that thing that will give you the highest return and the lowest risk at the same time. So this balancing act sometimes convinces people who are holding dollars to give up their dollars. We saw at some point during the year when everybody was holding dollars, they said, I am selling my dollars now, I want to hold shillings. Why? Because the rewards in shillings were far much greater than the risks that were now coming through holding shillings. At the beginning of the year, everybody was holding dollars because the rewards of holding the dollar were higher and the risks were the lowest there compared to holding the shilling. So diversifying is a very important aspect here, and especially where currencies are concerned. I always say, if you ever meet somebody who says they are an expert in currencies, please run very fast. Because in any currency, there are 2,000 variables changing every second, every minute. You go to sleep, you wake up, your whole algorithm has fallen flat. It does not work anymore. And so diversifying is a very proven strategic way of dealing with currencies, different currencies across the globe. The other thing, let me add the other thing. Even if you're a Kenyan or Nigerian or South African or Ugandan, we are living in an era where we are global citizens. And if you're global citizens, you need to hold global currencies. You will need to move around. What is affecting you today is not just local stuff. It is, we just saw Trump the other day. He was elected. And markets just reacted, So people are here. Their businesses are affected here by what is happening in the global stage. So it's important to diversify so that you remain aligned to the fact that we are actually now more global citizens than even local citizens. Yeah. When I was starting Nabo Capital in 2013, and the dream started in 2012, we were coming off a period where we were investing across the continent. And we were the only fund managers in Kenya who were set up as a Pan-African asset manager, not necessarily a Kenyan fund manager. And our investment universe was across the continent. The only place we were not having in South Africa. We thought South Africa was far much more developed. They had other fund managers who were better than us. So we chose to play in areas where we thought we had competitive advantages. So I spent the whole of December 2012 answering one question. Why does Kenya need one more fund manager? I remember there were 17 fund managers then. Now there are more. And after turning that over and over in my mind, the one thing that I was clear in my mind would add value to investors in this market and other investors looking to the continent is the fact that we had at least 900 securities who were following across the continent. Kenya had 130 government treasury bills and government bonds, and about 60 listed securities. That's nothing compared to the wall of money that was looking to settle here as a home. So investors were dying for variety. Investors were looking for options. Even today, investors, and I mean, when I talk about investors, I mean including pension funds, pension schemes, and other institutional investors, they're tired of investing in Safaricom, Equity Bank, KCB, day in, day out, year in, year out. We need something different. So Nabo came in to bring other alternative assets into the picture so that we could widen the investment universe for our investors. So we are our thinking, our mindset was to bring this diversification, and not just diversification, other better opportunities than even what we have found here in the country. And the track record also we came with, we were making a lot more money than what we were making a lot more money by investing outside the continent or outside Kenya than we were making in Kenya. So there was proof with our own money that we can bring along other investors, hold their hand, and show them other opportunities that can compete with Safaricom, can compete with KCB, can compete with what we consider to be blue chip companies here, including also our government bonds. There are other opportunities out there that would not only bring currency diversification, but would also bring better returns for the investors. Everybody right now in Kenya, even in other markets, I'm seeing the same theme. They're looking for this thing we call alternative assets. Allow me to define what alternative assets are. To define the alternative, it's alternative to what? It's alternative to what we call traditional assets. People putting money in the bank, people putting money in the stock market, listed market, people putting money in bonds and government securities, those are considered to be traditional asset classes. Now, alternative assets are now assets outside that universe of assets. For example, real estate is considered to be an alternative asset. Yeah. Private equity is considered to be an alternative asset. Private equity is you invest in companies which are not listed in stock exchanges. Okay. Investing in bitcoins is an alternative space. Now, in the context here, to talking about Kenyan investors for a long time have invested in Kenyan securities, Kenyan equities, Kenyan stock market, Kenyan bonds and treasury bills, everything Kenyan. Now, we were the first after the post-election violence, because we learned a very important lesson after post-election violence, that even Kenya, which was considered to be safe, it could go up in smoke. And that's when we woke up and we say, wait a minute, we better spread our portfolio beyond Kenyan borders. And that's where my journey of investing in Africa began, 2008. Now, since 2008 until today, we've been investing in securities across the continent. And we have never stopped until today. And this is the season now we are seeing everybody is saying, I want alternative assets. So assets outside of Kenya are also considered to be alternative assets. Now, I like asking this question. If you get on a plane and you hear the captain speak, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain, Pius Moshiri. This is my first day of flying, and I'm glad to have you as my passengers. How would you feel as a passenger? Uncomfortable is an understatement. Everybody wants to fly with a pilot who has mileage. In this market, we have the most mileage in alternative assets, be it in investing outside Kenya, in other African stock markets, and government bonds and treasury bill markets, or even in private equity, or even in real estate. Nobody comes close to Nabo and Center as far as investing in alternative markets. So we are the pilots with the most mileage in this sector. And would love to take our investors on board and to show them around what we have learned over the years. We have not just made money, we have lost money. We have been in difficult markets. I remember in Ghana, we made a lot of money, and then the currency misbehaved, and we exited 100%. Even exiting requires a special skill, because today I know of many investors who are in Nigeria, they are locked in. They can't get their dollars out. So it's a fantastic opportunity to invest in alternative market, but requires very special skills. So, and that's why I believe Nabo Capital is the best positioned to lead this journey or this new wave of alternative assets in our market.